Sometimes it looks like the world is on fire. If global warming is the crisis of our age, can we do anything to stop it or reduce the harm? Some industries have installed new technologies to scrub smokestack emissions. Governments have encouraged renewable energy projects and set fixed limits on air pollution. Carbon taxes might help, although many politicians are afraid of voter backlash. But there is one other thing to try, one more new tool that could help repair the air and get us on the road to a greener future. Putting a price on carbon pollution is the big idea that some very influential people think will work.
I think cap and trade is the best way, from my perspective, to achieve some of those gains, because what it does is it starts pricing the pollution that's being sent into the atmosphere.
Carbon trading has already made a very substantial contribution. Emissions have been reduced far more rapidly than would have otherwise happened.
I think the whole business of carbon trading and carbon offset is a blind alley that we're going down. It's a very dangerous distraction from the real business of making real emissions reductions.
You really need to have an economic incentive to change the way we do things.
A market solution to pollution has already created a new breed of entrepreneur, the carbon hunters. You can find them in India, the Canadian prairies, in the Philippines. Carbon hunters are searching all over the planet for carbon credits, this new market mechanism that pays people to keep carbon out of the air.
A carbon hunter finds projects where there's something beneficial happening to the atmosphere, where you're actually cleaning up the atmosphere. So you're reversing the tide of all the pollution we're putting in the air from cars and industry.
But parts of the carbon market are a voluntary, completely unregulated buyer beware zone. Critics say it's all smoke and mirrors, that it will not stop pollution. Kevin Smith, an environmental watchdog based in London, is the author of The Carbon Neutral Myth.
The voluntary market has essentially created a fictitious commodity to sell to gullible consumers to make themselves feel better about themselves.
If people can't just stop driving, if there has to be some other quicker way to clean up the air, then maybe putting a price on pollution would be a first step. Here's how it's supposed to work. Let's say two factories are polluting equally, and the government sets a limit, a cap. Factory A installs new equipment, reduces their pollution, and gets a carbon credit for doing more than their share. Factory B has no technological fix, so they keep polluting beyond the capped limit and get taxed. To reduce their tax, they can buy the carbon credit created by Factory A. In theory, this reduces the overall amount of carbon in the air. Take Canada's tar sands project as an example. So far, nobody has come up with an affordable technology to reduce this giant carbon footprint. So right now, it makes financial sense to buy carbon credits until new technology can solve the pollution problem. In this case, it may not be another factory, but a nearby wheat field in Alberta's own backyard. When farmers till their soil, they release greenhouse gases from rotting vegetation. But if they use newer technology, a seed drill instead of a plow, if they plant crops without actually tilling the soil,